guys are having a good day or night. Back today, kind of in a similar vein of last video. We're not going to be looking at market data in particular, but gonna talk a little bit more about my personal life. Gonna talk today about what jobs and things I did to earn money. Basically from like the age of 13 through now. And hopefully you guys enjoy hearing about that. I was always kind of interested in making money. So I've held a decent amount of jobs. I don't really have any visuals today, so I thought maybe I'd just play a game or something while I talk, so you guys have something to look at instead of just staring at a blank CNBC screen. But traditional disclaimer before I get started that none of this is financial, legal, or tax advice. I'm not a licensed or registered professional in any of those categories, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Consult a professional before investing, and do your own research. If you guys haven't been watching, I haven't been following the news so much today, but all the solar stocks are ripping up. We got First Solar up 8.24%, Enphase up 7%. There's another one called Nova that's up 8 or 9%, I believe. And then for some reason, all of the cell stocks are down a ton. I'm not sure why. Maybe we can read into that real quick before I start talking. See if there's some sort of news or something. Let's see. Competition. Maybe they had earnings, I'm not sure. Oh well, we'll figure it out. But yeah. So I'm gonna play agar.io. You guys have probably seen this if you're younger. We used to play this in school all the time. Kind of mindless. But so when I was younger, I had no real job, official, W-2, 1099 job until I turned 16, I believe. I guess actually I take that back. But most of my jobs before 16 were, I guess, as contractors. You get a 1099 at the end of the year. You weren't a real employee. And so I started off, I think, when I was maybe 14 or 15 years old, and I was a soccer referee for my town, and that was for all the kids leagues. So pretty much from age 6 to 14, and then some of the older kids games we would also be able to referee, but we'd be the sideline referees who run down with the flags for offsides and such. But yeah, so I started that. That was a decent gig, especially for, being that young when you're not really allowed to have any other job. It was a good way to make money. Obviously, the pay is a lot more inconsistent. You don't get the same, level of hours and such, but it was a good gig. And I think you'd make, if you were the main ref, I think you'd make $40 for a game, and if you were a sideline ref for one of the older ones, I think you'd make 25, something like that. So you had to put in your name with other people. It was kind of like a lottery system, and they would somewhat evenly distribute the games, and then if there was extras, then they would just pick certain people, and I think they tried to kind of rotate through to see who got it this week. But you'd maybe get 1 or 2 a week, which $50-$60 as a kid was pretty good. And I did that until I turned 15, and at that point that was something that was pretty seasonal. So you'd have, I think it was fall was the soccer league for our town, so you'd have work from August, September through October, November maybe, depending. And then you would be, out of work the rest of the year. And sometimes they had stuff in, refereeing. So this was on top of what I did in the fall for outdoor refereeing. I also got a job refereeing at an indoor soccer place, and that was a little more set schedule. You know, they have set times that they play games every week, and you were kind of given a shift, and you got to keep that shift. So I had a couple hours a week guaranteed, and then sometimes there would be opportunities to pick up like other time slots. And I think that was like $25 or $30 an hour. And sometimes if you picked up other people's time slots and it was like an hour or two, like kind of an odd time on a day you weren't normally there, they'd give you, $40 or $50 an hour to get you over there, which is pretty amazing given the hours of work. It still kind of sucked in terms of, how many hours per week you were actually getting. Usually it was never more than like 5 or 6 at absolute max, but that was an improvement, and that was still a independent contractor. I would definitely recommend if you're, younger and you're looking for ways to earn money, or maybe even if you're older and you just want a job that takes, a couple of hours a week maybe. As long as you don't mind, occasionally getting naggy parents, you can make some good money doing that. And it's pretty easy and flexible with other schedules. Most of the games are at night because parents want to be able to go to them, kids are in school, etc. So, check that out. And I did that with the fall soccer until I turned 16. And when I turned 16, I was able to get a job at oh crap. Guys screwed us. I was able to get a job at a restaurant. And so I did that during the summer. I worked, pretty much full time, 40 hours a week or so in the kitchen. And I worked there all summer. I was making minimum wage, and you'd get maybe $1 or $2 extra per hour in tips. So, not as much as the refereeing was making, but it was like consistent money, and you got a decent amount of hours. Sometimes you got overtime. So I think I was making $10 or $11 an hour. So I did that in the summer. And then when summer ended, I would occasionally go back to do like shifts on holidays. They would usually get pretty busy around, say, like Christmas time, St. Patty's Day in the spring, like that type of stuff. If there were any events in town, then they'd need some extra help, etc. So I would do those random ones, and then I kept reffing soccer. I think at that point I switched just to indoor soccer in the winter because I was playing sports in high school in the fall and spring, and between that and having a social life and going to school and stuff, I didn't want to spend my falls and springs working, so I was just working in the winter and the summer. And I actually worked at that restaurant every summer after that for 3 additional years. So that's 4 more years. So when I was 17, 18, and then after my first year of college, I also came back and worked there again in the summer. I got maybe a slight raise of like $1 or $2 an hour the second and third year. But I was still only making $12, $13 an hour, plus, a couple bucks in tips a night. But the last year, I was able to become a waiter, and I also bar backed, and that is another way to make amazing money. If you're, a server at a decent restaurant, you can make decent money in tips. I think, most nights I would make, if I worked during the day, it was usually a lot slower, so you'd make maybe like $60 to $80, because how it works is they pay you an hourly wage still, but it's lower because you're a tipped employee. So in my state, you got paid like $5 or $6 an hour, and then you also got a decent amount of money in tips. And so I would walk away with, from like a 5 or 6 hour shift, probably like $70 or $80, which is pretty decent, but not that far off of minimum wage at that point. But when you worked nights, especially if it was like a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, it would get pretty busy, and you could make anywhere from like $180 in a night. And then bar backing was crazy tips. You got tipped out, I think, at my place, like 20% of what the bartenders made in tips. And if they were, open from 10 to 2, that could be, hundreds of dollars. So you could pretty routinely make your normal hourly wage, which was, I think, actually back to normal hourly wage, so like $10 or $11 an hour plus all those tips. So you'd make anywhere from like 100 to like 250 in a night, which was phenomenal for like a high school / college kid. But granted, that's only on like the busy weekend nights. So yeah, and then I started doing like internships and other stuff through my college, and I ended up actually doing that for most of college. Most of the places that I interned brought me back following terms, or like let me continue to work even when I went back to school. So I had pretty much constant job at different companies in engineering related roles for like the last 3.5 years of school. And that was a mix of, I did a lot of stuff in the medical and pharmaceutical industry, mostly engineering, a little bit of like supply chain. But yeah, and that was a phenomenal way to make money, because you're not only building out your resume, but you're getting paid a pretty decent wage. The days of not having a paid internship are kind of behind us, which is amazing. I think that was kind of abusive of companies to expect people to do that. But also during college, freshman, sophomore year, when I was first kind of getting into the internships, or during the school year, freshman year, I was charging Lime scooters. I don't know if you guys have seen those things before. They're kind of like city bikes, but they're for, they're for scooters. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So, that was an interesting job. You got to ride them for free at night when you'd pick them up, and then you'd have to plug them back into your place, and then drop them out early in the morning. And I also did Instacart for a summer during COVID. Was pretty decent situation, kind of similar to working in the restaurant in terms of like a large portion of your money comes from tips. I kind of did that until it died out after COVID kind of died down or simmered down. A lot less people used the app. More people were comfortable going to the grocery store and actually shopping for themselves. So the batches got a lot more inconsistent, and the tips got a little worse. And so I was actually doing that for a while on top of my internships, just for extra money on the side. And then at one point I did work at a pharmacy for a while, also part-time on top of my other work and school when I went back to it. So I've had a lot of different jobs. My advice to people would probably be, don't go as ham on it as I did maybe. It can be, a pretty big time suck, and there's a time and place for that kind of hustle, and to a certain degree you definitely always want to be making some money, in my opinion, even if you're in school and it's like on loans or scholarships or such. I think it can help defray a lot of the costs and kind of help build you, a starter sum of money after school, if you kind of just spend some time working and socking away money while you're in school. And then you also, don't feel as bad about, going out with friends or, going somewhere for the weekend with people. So, a little bit more independence. You're not, living the typical college life of ramen noodles and whatnot. So, that would be my advice. Let me know what kind of jobs you guys worked. I think I have a pretty like diverse age group of people who watch, but I guess a decent portion of them seem to be at least somewhat younger. Maybe they're similar age to me. Who knows? But let me know what you did. If you have any cool stories or things that you did to make extra money that maybe aren't typical, I would really be interested to hear them. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and I appreciate you watching.